Hello and welcome to News in Design. I'm your host, Keith Platte. I had originally planned to update you on SHARP 2 Project LO7 this month. However, there was a conflict in scheduling, which means I'm going to switch gears and focus on AASHTO's Standing Committee on Research and the NCHRP process. Earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down with Jim McDonnell, AASHTO's Program Director for Engineering and AASHTO's Liaison for SCORE. Let's take a look at what we discussed. Jim, thanks for joining me. So let's talk about SCORE, the Standing Committee on Research. It plays a vital role here at AASHTO, so could you briefly touch on what they're up to and also the membership of the committee?
Right now, the Standing Committee on Research is working to review all of the research proposals that came in for funding through the National Cooperative Highway Research Program, which is NCHRP. Those proposals came in from AASHTO committees, state DOTs, and the Federal Highway Administration. And those proposals get reviewed by the Standing Committee at its meeting in late March. The committee itself is made up of a cross-section of both research leaders from the state DOTs as well as policy leaders. So half the members are the heads of the research departments within the state DOT, and half the members are at the CEO or chief engineer or other departmental head level of the state DOTs.
Jim, SCORE receives about 150 research proposals annually. Can you walk us through the process on how one is actually selected for funding?
SCORE takes input from several different sources in its review and ranking of all these research proposals. So the Research Advisory Committee within AASHTO is one source. The other AASHTO committees are another source of input into the process. They review the projects that are most important to them. Also, they take input from subject matter experts within the Federal Highway Administration and within their own staff at NCHRP. All that information is collated, and a draft ranking is produced, which they use at their meeting in March to start off the discussion. And during that meeting, the 150 research proposals are whittled down to maybe 40 to 50 projects that can be funded. So it's a very competitive process.
So Jim, when will SCORE announce the actual funding of these projects?
SCORE releases a draft recommendation after its meeting. So in April of this year, we'll hear the draft list of research projects that were funded. That list of draft projects is also submitted to the AASHTO Board of Directors for final approval. So an official list doesn't actually come out until July, but they release the list early in order to start the solicitation for panel members for those research projects. So sometime in July we'll get the final official list, and then in August panel meetings will start occurring.
So Jim, tell me, if I'm a state DOT and I'm interested in serving on a panel, who should I contact?
Well, I think there are two possible avenues. You can work through your RAC member, your Research Advisory Committee member, so that would be the head of the research division in your DOT, or contact somebody on the NCHRP staff directly, and you can submit a resume and be considered for one of the research panels.
Jim, thanks for joining me here on News in Design.
Certainly, my pleasure.
That was some very good information Jim provided both on SCORE and NCHRP. Well, that will do it for this month's segment. Thanks for watching News in Design on AASHTO's Transportation TV. Until next time, always be designing for the future.